So, welcome. My name is Writer Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Finn, Liv, Raquel, Dom, JD, Roxanne, and poor Carlito. Um, this Monday Night Raw was interesting. I didn't think we were going to get a lot of advancement storyline wise until we got that last bit at the end because I thought it was just going to be matches. I was going to be okay with it. But we got that storyline advancement at the end of nearly towards the end of Raw. And for that, I'm calling this little piece um, a a prince plays checkers while a king plays chess. Um, because it's obvious that Dom is still doing his planning. He's just now a little bit more out in the open about it. It's not cloak and dagger like he was in the background with like Ludwig and Pete Dunne and Karrion Cross. These kinds of ways. Now it's in the open when he was openly talking to El Grande Americano. Um, Now on the X, people are saying, well, Dom is gonna get kicked because now everybody's gonna be jealous because he's leading the shots and whatever. And they're saying like, why would Roxanne join Dom because Finn brought her in? That was always the key issue with why I did my little Roxanne piece and how she can go like to like on an obsession route because that hasn't been made clear. What does Roxanne get out of joining up with Finn? What did he promise her? And it can't just be Liv. Like, why would she attack Liv? Yeah, it's wrestling and you can attack people for whatever. People argue over a hat, like what Penta and Xavier Woods were doing tonight. But, there's got to be some kind of reason there. Like, why would she join? Same thing with Raquel. Like, why would Raquel join with Dom? Because she's feeling empowered. I mean, yeah, she's feeling empowered, but yeah, she's still losing. And I mean, it's not that much empowering. I could see Raquel and Roxanne mostly staying on Finn's side if they had still had the tag team titles. Like, and then if Finn himself was actually helping Raquel and Roxanne with those titles, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't even shown up. It was Dom that was actually showing up for a while and helping them win things. Same thing with tonight. It's Dom. So it's those little bits that still leads me to believe that Finn is going to get kicked out. And I'm thinking they're shifted. Now people are thinking, well, Liv is going to be back sooner rather than later. And yeah, I do think she will be back before the end of the year, but I don't think it's going to hit immediately. And I say that because now maybe with this Liv story, I do still think it's been pretty much debunked like that PWI insider story because why would she fly out to Canada for a medical evaluation? But maybe there's a little train of growth in there where she's going to be out a little bit longer, and they just decided to run Don Finn because you really don't need Liv in this storyline to get Don Finn. You could just have it implode. You do need Liv for Raquel and Roxanne, and you need Liv around Roxanne because that needs to develop. Because why are you going to have a feud with Liv and Roxanne if nothing's really developed? It's just going to be a really flat story. The story is with Raquel and Liv, and there's something there, and Raquel, yeah, can turn on Liv, but still, she hasn't really completely turned on Liv because there's nothing there. So you have to get that developed with Roxanne and Raquel. If Dom kicks Finn out and you have Liv return a little bit after that, and she's around Judgment Day, they can still build up whatever they want to do with Roxanne and Raquel, and then you can spin off that story. And then Dom could be running off whatever storylines he has with like Finn and AJ and JD and with all that. So that's my opinion on that. Because again, like what I've been seeing on it on the X is like people were getting after like Finn saying, "Oh, he's doing too sweet. He's working with AJ. AJ was nowhere to be found tonight." I would think if he was working with AJ, that would be continued. And I'm going to get into why I'm thinking Finn is going to get kicked out a little bit later on to dissect it a little bit more. But AJ wasn't even there to continue that bit if that was supposed to be this plan. And then they were saying, well, AJ, Finn was lying on the ground while Dom got pinned at Triple Mania, but all the factions got pinned. And then they wanted to show like this angle of all, Finn just watching Dom get pinned. I'm like, if it's not on TV, it doesn't count. Like, you need to see that angle of Finn actually watching Dom get pinned for it to count or be like a kill. Because like I keep saying, Triple H is not subtle. If they wanted to have Finn and AJ work together, you would be having a lot more interactions and a lot more background statements and a little bit more clues than what we got. Finn throwing up too sweet when he's always done that from time to time, and AJ referencing Finn as the Prince when Prince was literally in um Finn's Titantron. Like, he had Prince in his Titantron, so it's not like he's saying something like out of the blue. Like, just those little things with AJ and Finn doesn't constitute like Finn and AJ are working together. We need more. We need more substance. And like I said, Triple H ain't subtle. Cause look at what happened tonight. You had Dom talking to El Grande. That's a huge thing. We saw Dom talking in the background to Ludwig and all these other people. Those are clues. We need something like that. Finn had more cloak and dagger and more clues with Roxanne and talking with Roxanne in the background and sneaking around with her than he has with AJ. So that's why I say I don't think Finn is working with AJ. Because what's the point with that? Because if he was working with AJ, I would expect Finn to be out there at SummerSlam to help AJ, or at least look like he, maybe helping Dominik, but helps AJ. Like, he was nowhere to be found there. And yeah, Finn and JD didn't help Dom win, but like, look at all the other factions. LWO failed, the other El Grandes failed, like, everybody failed in that one. And yeah, Dom helped Judgment Day win here, but that's always been the key point here. Dom makes Judgment Day win. And that's always been the linchpin with Judgment Day since he joined. He helps Judgment Day win. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. Because I'm gonna talk about Finn a little bit more. Because like I said, I really think he's gonna get kicked. And I really think this is because I don't think Liv is gonna be back soon-ish. And by I mean by soon-ish, I'm thinking like Clash in Paris or maybe even Survivor Series. It might be a little bit, she might be back at like Survivor Series, and but I don't think she's gonna be back earlier than that. I don't think she's gonna be like at Perth or anything like that. It's probably gonna be Survivor Series, something like that. And while they wait, and if she's back at Survivor Series, they can be running Dom and Finn and get that, going and fighting. And then when Liv comes back, then you can start kicking off Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel. But I'll get into that. 1 second. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? First and foremost, I have to say congratulations to my girl named Omi. She is pregnant. She's 7 weeks pregnant. So this woman wrestled at Evolution and SummerSlam while pregnant. That's beast. I think the same thing kind of happened with Becky, and I think the same thing happened with Carmella. So she had to relinquish the title. I'm sad as a Naomi fan because she was really hitting her stride as champion, but I am so happy that she's pregnant and she's going to have her child because she's always wanted her child. I know she was always planning for the child. Um, and I know she's been really upfront with her fertility struggles. I've been there with those fertility struggles. It's not very happy. It really can you make you question your worth as a woman. So I really get the pain that she was going through. So I am so happy that she's pregnant. She's stepping away. She might be back. She might retire, but I'm just happy for her. Yeah, the wrestling Naomi fan to me is sad. She had her title run cut short, but I'm looking at it on the plus side. Like, first, she's not going to be losing to Stephanie, which is not what I wanted to do. And as long as they keep Rhea's ass away from that belt, which I doubt, but as long as they keep her away from it, I'm good. Throw that belt on anybody else. I don't care. But congratulations to Naomi. But let's keep going, shall we? Pre-Raw, we were given the announcement that Dom will be taking on Vikingo at Worlds Collide in September. He had a really nice video where he was calling out Vikingo, and then Ray Ray had to come in and mock Dom about it. And I'm like, Ray Ray, I need Dragon Lee. I really need Dragon Lee to come and catch Ray's ass. Like, you're coming over here mocking your son. You're not beating the deadbeat dad allegations. None. And I know that they're tying Dom and Ray back together because maybe that return match is coming up sooner rather than later. But man, he is not beating those deadbeat dad allegations. And I really need Dragon Lee to go catch his ass. Like, seriously. Let Dom and Dragon Lee work together for a little bit before they go back to fighting again. Because I just need Dragon Lee to snatch up Ray Ray. Because this man is something else. But yeah, I do like that video of Dom. He's still really animated and he's still being really mad and aggressive. And I'm really liking his character change because I think he's really, really getting close to crashing out. Like we've always thought that Dom was gonna crash out before, but now with his mannerisms, he looks like he's really on the cusp of it. And like what we saw later on tonight, like he was super aggressive. Like this is a side of Dom where it's just really nice to see him being aggressive and proactive for once. Like he's always been reactive, now he's being proactive. Like he's attacking people, he's calling the shots, and I'm just really enjoying it. So yeah, we get Vikingo and Dom um in September at Worlds Collide. And that's gonna be up in a day. I think they said that's gonna be 3 p.m. Eastern. So on a Friday. So I'm glad if my schedule holds, I'm really so let me go over to Monday Night Raw. I was talking about Raquel versus Iyo Sky. I was saying I really, really like Raquel. I really like her being a powerhouse. She's taking Kevin Nash's advice to heart. She's just being amazing. And people are saying like, where has this version of Raquel been? I'm like, first it's been in NXT, because she's had some really awesome matches with Dakota Kai and Iyo Sky down there. And then with another thing is that Raquel always was running up against Rhea, and for some damn reason they don't allow people to be like that powerhouse against Rhea. And when she came back, and she was running up against Raquel, she was making Rhea was making Raquel look like an idiot. Like she was always manhandling her and doing that, and it just wasn't good for Raquel's presentation. But now that she's out of that vortex, now she can be that powerhouse she is meant to be. Iyo Sky wins after she took out Roxanne, and I was really, really hoping Raquel would get that win because I think she needs that win. Like I can get okay, Roxanne, she gets the win that way, but with Raquel, she really needs a win too. Yeah, she got the win over there in Triple Mania, but she needs to win too. And then, like I said yesterday, I said we're gonna see here. This is my brutality, and what happened tonight? This is my brutality. Because when after Raquel and Roxanne are beating up Iyo, here comes Miss Brutality. I knew it. I knew it. And then proceeds to clean house, and I hate that because why are you cleaning house? Roxanne was pretty fresh. She should have been able to do some kind of whooping on some people. Like, why couldn't they just like beat up, like fight, and then have Raquel and Roxanne like roll out of the ring, just so they're not just beaten up. Like, it's just certain ways that they could have structured that for Roxanne and Raquel to at least stand a little bit tall. Like, let them be beat up. They could have been. They could have let Roxanne and Raquel beat up Iyo Sky. Here comes Rhea. She maybe fights them off a little bit, but they take off, and then Rhea could have been checking on Iyo Sky, something like that, because so they could match up with what Finn, JD, and Dom did later, but we couldn't have that. Um, Next week we're gonna have Raquel and not Raquel. We're gonna have Roxanne versus Rhea next week. Um, I do not expect Roxanne to win, even with Asuka, even with Asuka like having some friction with Rhea, because that was really nice. I did like how Asuka wasn't having Rhea shit when she was checking on Iyo, because Asuka said, "Hey, she told us to stay in the back." And she's right. Like Iyo did tell them to stay in the back, and then Rhea's all like, "Well, I came out there for my friend," and I'm like, you know what? But what I really liked about Asuka, what she said was to Rhea is to stay out of our business, which is like Io's business, because Iyo had, started crashing out and then walked off. And Asuka's like, "Stay out of our business." I'm like, finally somebody said it to Rhea, like, stay out of your business. And then another humorous bit for like black humor is Rhea like staring at the wall where she got injured, where Liv kicked her into that wall and she was injured and she had to relinquish the title. So it was like a humorous black humor spot there because Rhea like looked at it and then walked off, and I'm like, oh. And remember, Dom was in on that too, because there was no way Dom could not see Liv attacking or Rhea, after he had left. So yeah. Um, so yeah, so that was that little bit. People were talking about like Roxanne didn't help Raquel win. I'm like, she was interfering, but she got taken out by Iyo. Like a suicide dive like Iyo. That's gonna leave you down and out for a while. And then when we see Roxanne pop up, you can see her popping up over the over the ring apron. So like I'm not expecting what they were expecting Roxanne to do. She got taken out by a suicide dive by Iyo. That's why this is why I'm going counter to what's being said on the X right now, because first of all, like, she was taken out. What do you expect Roxanne to do? Yeah, you can say that Roxanne is only listening to Finn, but if that's the case, if she's listening to Finn and listening to what he wants to do, why would she let why would she let Raquel take a loss? Like, I would think she would be shoring up her connection to Raquel, so that shores up Finn's connection. So whenever he wants to do a takeover, he has that, he has that authority because he brought Raquel and Roxanne together. It doesn't make sense. That's why I was saying all on the X now, like, you can't say that Roxanne is only listening to Finn, because if you do that, that means that Raquel is being left out in the cold. So are you going to say that Raquel is going to be on Liv's side, or are you saying like that she's going to be with Roxanne? You see what I mean? Like, which is it? And like I said, she was taken out by a suicide dive. Suicide dive by Iyo. There's nothing much you can do except do that recovery period, and then she noticed that she popped back up to attack Iyo after the thing. So it's not like she was leaving Raquel out to the wolves, or she kind of like shied away from Iyo and Rhea. She was in there fighting. But anyway, that was that. And then we were let know we were told that we're gonna get Judgment Day versus Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee. Now I do know that Mr. Iguana was in town because I got a frightful report saying that him and Vikingo were in town. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna set up Worlds Collide. We had that tag team match. I love Mr. Iguana. Like, seriously, this dude rocks, and I love Dragon Lee too. Um, this is one of those matches where I like Judgment Day when they operate like a family and as a unit, because I did like how this was. They were going back and forth. They had some really good moves here. JD was showing out. Finn was showing out. Finn has some really interesting looks to Mr. Iguana, which I'm going to touch on. But it was ultimately Dom taking out Dragon Lee to get him into position for Finn to do a coup de grace on Dragon Lee to win. And then after that, we get the beatdown. Now, this is what I like. This is what's needed. Again, this is aggression from Dom. They started taking out Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee. Dom goes over to the announce table, clears that off, and then starts grabbing the tails off of Dragon Lee's mask. And I'm like, sir, the way you're doing that grab, I don't know what it is, but keep doing it. Because, good grief, like, that's some presence right there. And then when Dom is about to do whatever he was going to do to Dragon Lee, here comes Vikingo. And the fight was on. You know, he jumps Dom, knocks him off the announce table, and then Vikingo goes after Finn and JD and does some really good moves. And then Dom comes in with the most amazing belt shot against Vikingo. Like, Dom takes the Mega Championship belt and just blasts Vikingo. You could hear it. It was so loud. I was like, God damn. Like, it was just a shot on Vikingo. Like, he laid in on that shot, and then after he had laid out Vikingo with that belt shot, he goes up to the turnbuckle, hits the frog splash on Vikingo, and then he poses with both the Mega Championship and the Intercontinental Championship belt. That was a nice pose. You had Finn to his left, JD to his right. It was a nice pose. And I'm saying that's dope. And then they're probably now they have to go to belt Dom, because that was a look for Dom. Like, that's presence, that's aura, like people keep saying. Like, he just he just took out a whole bunch of luchadors and was looking great in the process. So yeah, and then there was like a WWE Espanol where you had Mystery Iguana calling Dom like Peso Pluma, which is hilarious because it was like Dragon Lee and Mystery Iguana and Vikingo. You know, they're all just trying licking their wounds while they're walking back to the back, and Mystery Iguana were just they were just like looking at their wounds and calling Dom Peso Pluma, which was hilarious there. But yeah, that was just a nice shot from Dom there. Um, and again, this is the Dom that we needed. We need Dom to be aggressive. Um, he did the beatdown. The belt shot was sick. And by the way, where the fuck is AJ? This man used up all his airline miles to go rob Dom of his opportunity at Triple Mania, but he was nowhere to be found tonight. So where's that continuation? What happened? Where was AJ? So AJ not being there tonight leads me to believe, especially since they have Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed setting up for Clash in Paris, I don't think the Intercontinental title is going to be on the line in Paris. Because I think they would have set that up now. We're running out of time. Yeah, they did the feud at the set up the title match at SummerSlam like 2 weeks before, but we knew that AJ was in line for that championship shot. It was just Dom just was ducking him because he had his injury until he got cleared. So we knew that was coming. Yeah, you have AJ still kind of coming for Dom here, but nothing got set up between Dom and AJ. And we only got like what 2 weeks before Clash in Paris, 2 or 3 weeks? 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So AJ not being there pretty much burns off 1 week. And then we got the other 2 weeks like in what London and Ireland and stuff like that. To possibly set it up, but I don't think it is. Because it looks like we'll have I think we're already at match card capacity, which is like 5 or 6 matches. And I think we're already getting there too, because I think they're gonna start probably stick another SmackDown match on the card. And then you got what's going on. So you have the World Heavyweight Championship, and then you have the World Heavyweight Championship. You got Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns, and then you have Logan Paul versus John Cena, and then I think there's maybe like there might be a women's match there, but I'm thinking I'm thinking they're gonna bypass Clash in Paris. I really do, because I don't think even Dom is gonna be. Um, I don't think that, what was that? Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm not thinking that Dom's gonna be on there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say that AJ was not scheduled to be on the live events when they're on that European tour. Dom might be doing something, but not AJ. Like, I think Dom is gonna be facing like CM Punk on the live tour. So yeah. So that was that. And then now this one caught me slipping because I went off to do something because I thought they were done with all the Judgment Day stuff, and I was just trying to get my notes in. And then I was surprised by this backstage interaction where we have Judgment Day, Finn, JD, Roxanne, and Raquel. They're walking back. It looks like they're getting ready to leave because they had all their bags. And Finn was trying to cheer up Roxanne and Raquel because, hey, we'll get them next week because of Rhea. And then who did we walk up? Who did they walk up on? We have Dom talking with El Grande Americano. Um, they talk a little bit, and El Grande leaves. Um, then asks what was that, and Dom says that he's shoring up that he's making sure that the Judgment Day stay on top, and he tells them to let's go because he has his bag, and they all follow him. JD stays behind to check with Finn, and Finn was like, yeah. And then JD walks off, and then we zoom in on Finn's face. Now, peep Finn's face here. We're all used to angry Finn and demonic grinning, the demonic grin smiling Finn. This Finn's face was of confusion. I did not. I mean, to me, that was a look of confusion. Um, and you could either take it. I could take this a couple of different ways. First is maybe Finn is now confused that Dom is acting in this way. Like, he's always thought of Dom like his stepson, who he has to tell what to do. But it didn't happen that way. Now he's seeing Dom like pretty much growing up, and he's taking and doing all his own thing, and now he's surprised by that. Otherwise, you got Finn maybe thinking, um, he was going one way, but then Dom is going the other, and he's confused by that. So this is why I'm thinking they turn on Finn, because one of the main reason I'm thinking they turn on Finn is because they paused the tension. Finn was eyeballing Dom's title, and then they stopped it, and then they reverted back to Finn being supportive of Dom. Notice, and again, like I said, Roxanne was not listening to Finn's instructions. Like, she interacted with Dom on her own without Finn's input. We're not seeing like where it looks like Finn was running the shots. They called him Judgment Day leader. What was that in Triple Mania? But everything got paused for a while, and that's why I'm thinking when this pause happened, I'm thinking they have figured out, or they decided that Liv will come back later. Everybody's thinking sooner, mostly because there's like this so-called source that keeps saying sooner, but um. Like I said, I don't think Liv will be out until next year, but I do think she'll be back before the end of the year. But it's not going to be at this particular moment. I don't think we're going to have her right now, like September and maybe even October. It's probably going to be November around SummerSlam. I mean, Survivor Series. And that's when she makes her return. And in the meantime, they can't pause and stretch it out anymore. I mean, yeah, they can because it's Triple H's bullshit, but they can't pause the tension indefinitely. So, what can they do? They can run Don Finn. And with Don Finn, they don't need Liv. Was Liv a big part of it? Yeah, but you could run Dom and Finn having beef with each other without Liv. Because it was kind of looking weird, like they were having a feud between Finn and Liv, and that wasn't making any sense. It needed to shift back to Dom, and I think that's where they're going with it. And then when Liv gets back, they can start up the feud with Roxanne and Raquel. But that feud needs build. You can't just run out Roxanne against Liv because first of all, Liv is just going to outshine her popularity wise. It's kind of like the Dom situation. You can't do that. You have to do things a certain way, otherwise you're gonna harm the other person. Like look at what happened with Austin Theory. They wasted all that time to pull the trigger until Theory got injured, and now we had no payoff to that. So they got to be really careful. And with Roxanne, she needs a little bit more feud. She needs a little bit more substance to build with Liv. Yeah, she came in and she got a few wins here or there, and she lost Liv's belt, but it's still not a lot of substance. The substance is with Raquel, and even with Raquel, they need something there more than just I was jealous of you because everybody does that. I was in your shadow. I'm like, okay, and yeah, we got that history, but you still have to build up to the whatever eventual betrayal or turning on or something like that. It has to be built, and that hasn't been built. Like I said, if they wanted to run it now, where Raquel and Roxanne stay with Finn, they should have just then the title should have stayed on them. They lost it now, so yeah. Let's see here. Um, oh, Dom is still connected to El Grande, which makes what happened at Triple Mania really confusing. Like, if he's still connected with Don Grande and it looks like they have some sort of alliance, then why did the other El Grandes Tres and Cinco and Cuatro um wait so only seem like they were helping El Grande only on Triple Mania? So that's kind of weird there. But I do like that they still have Dom doing things on his own. Um, Also, I still notice how quick Roxanne was how quick Roxanne was to join Dom. Dom says, "Let's go." Here comes Roxanne. That was quick. She didn't even look back at Finn, which was funny to me. Like I said that in my group chat. I was like, "Hey, Roxanne took off really quick right there," and that's why I was saying like there's still something there. I think they're gonna try to run maybe a one-sided Roxanne Dom. And if you want to put Dom as the bad guy, because he's still a heel, yeah, he's getting chanted at, but he's still a heel. You can just make it where he's really manipulative, and that's what Eddie used to do. Like Dom, like Eddie Guerrero in his heel era, WWE wise, was a manipulative bastard. They could be running that. I'm not saying Dom Rocks is going to happen. I'm just saying it's a maybe one sided on Roxanne's part, and Dom uses that to his advantage. That could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I said it could happen. And I'm liking that Dom is still making moves on his own. I would not be surprised if Ilya popped up for Dom. Now it's gonna take some twisting to get that to make sense why Ilya would show up for Dom, but it could happen. Maybe Dom was the one that was reaching out to Ilya while he was injured. I don't know. But you can have it there where Dom is just making his own moves, making his own connections, things like that. And it's just really, really nice. And it really just shows that he's being smart and proactive. Like I said, it's nice that Dom is just being more active in what he's doing. Because all this time, all these years, he's been really reactive. Now he's being active. And that's really good. And I love it. He's being aggressive, he's being active, he's being smart, he's building his own alliances. I couldn't ask for more. And if we didn't have this little storyline advancement bit, I would have been okay with this Raw because we did see Dom being super aggressive. He took out Vikingo with that nasty belt shot. I would have been happy with what we got. But this little bit here makes things a lot more interesting. And yeah, like I said, I really think Finn is going to get kicked out. Because if you're going to do King of Luchadors and they do give him the belt, Dom has to be presented as smart and seeing it coming. So yeah, if they can't, the Judgment Day can try to kick Dom out, but if they do that, you gotta have Dom see it coming. That's why I'm saying here, I think you can have Dom just take over because King just pretty much supersedes the Prince anyway. So just have Dom take over, give him that leadership position for a little bit, and then you can run with Dom, and then you can split after that. Maybe they get disillusioned with it. There's some other people that were saying that everybody gets jealous of Dom with his title belts, but that's always happened in Judgment Day. where not really always happen at Judgment Day. I'm just saying like Dom with his belts. Somebody's always had a belt in Judgment Day, and not everybody's always had a title in Judgment Day. Like JD didn't have a belt for a while. Dom didn't have a belt for a while. Raquel didn't have a belt for a while. So there's always going to be periods of time where somebody didn't have a belt in Judgment Day, and that really usually wasn't a problem. But if they run it where Dom gets big headed, like super big headed, then yeah, I could probably see somebody he getting like attempts to get kicked out. But like I said, if he's gonna be running King of Luchadors, he needs to be smart about it. So that was Monday Night Raw. Like I said, I don't know where the fuck AJ went, but I think that means that we're not getting Dom versus AJ at Clash in Paris. But we did get some more interesting bits. We're gonna get Roxanne versus Rhea next week. We have to see what Finn is going to be up to. Like I said, his face to me looked more like surprise and anger, like or confusion. Because if he was showing like he was pissed off about it, then yeah, I could just say like yeah, Dr. Finn's been going back into his scheming ways, but that wasn't the case. And like I said, he paused the scheming. The scheming paused. If he had continued the scheming, then yeah, we could say, okay, Finn is upset with this and he's just gonna keep going more and more to get Dom out. But that's not the case here. But then again, like I said, the whole Digital Days storyline is fucked up. So it could go either way. Either Dom kicks out Finn, or Finn attempts to kick out Dom. I don't know. But if they don't run Dom and AJ in Paris, then it looks like Dom is just going to be going into Worlds Collide as the Intercontinental Championship, and we get double belt Dom, like they should have did in Triple Mania. But I digress. But that was Raw.